everyone. It is Monday, March 1. And that means that we are starting a new little series on our Monday morning Instagram lives. And this month we're gonna slow things down. Good morning, Margie. Nice to see you again. We are gonna slow things down a little bit. And we're gonna focus this month on just bringing a little bit more ease and a little more softness into our practice. And I think that'll be hopefully a really nice way to start the day. And this class is called Slow Morning Rise. So it'll be just a really nice, gentle, smooth flow. You're welcome to bring coffee. Mine's almost empty. And yeah, I'll give it another minute or so to see if we have anyone else joining. Hello, Monica, welcome. And yeah, you might want to grab yourself a block or a blanket. Oh, good morning, the attic. Megan, Andrea, how lovely. I think you're all into the slow morning thing. I'm into it too. So it'll be about half an hour. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. If you need to leave early, you can always leave early. If you want to put on some music, you can pop on the playlist that I shared in the previous story, or whatever other music you would like to listen to. Awesome. So we will get started. So go ahead, top up your coffee if you need a little more. Put on your music if you want that. Grab any props that you normally use for your practice. And we are going to begin seated towards the top of the mat. Let me just slide over. Oh wait, I'm gonna turn the comments off so that you can all see me. Okay, so it's a seat that we will begin in, and we're actually gonna take our feet together and our knees wide. And if this is really uncomfortable for your hips, you can slide a pillow or a block underneath there, or you can maybe slide blocks or pillows underneath of your hips or your glutes. And then we'll just take the feet, a nice comfortable distance away from the hips. And sit up tall to start. Feel a little lift in the chest. And then when you're ready, you can fold down. So just coming into this relaxed forward fold to start. Our cobbler's pose. And as you fold forward, you begin to relax the head and the hips, the shoulders and the jaw. Taking a few nice deep breaths up and down the spine. And just start to feel your body right here. Feel the parts of you that are maybe still a little bit stiff or sore from your sleep. Maybe the parts of you that are always stiff and sore. And just starting off your week, starting off your Monday, nice and gentle. Bringing a little bit of softness and kindness into the body, into the mind. And you can stay here in stillness. Or if you'd like, if you're grabbing onto your feet, you might start to just gently rub the feet. And just give your feet a little bit of attention and love, maybe rubbing the arches, the heels, the ankles. Nothing better than a foot rub on a Monday morning. If that feels comfortable for you. If not, you might just start to move the head, or maybe you do both at the same time, just taking a little sway, letting the neck get a little bit of attention too. You might start to slow down that movement, letting everything just come to stillness in the center. And then as you're ready, start to lift the upper body, slide the hands right onto the knees, spread the fingers nice and wide, and take a deep inhale, lifting the chest up high, and a big exhale, rounding the spine as you lean back. A bit of seated cat-cow right here, lifting up into your cow shape, arching the back. and rounding, leaning back into your cat. Just a couple more. Steady with the breath. If you'd like, you can stay with this, just seated cat-cow, or you can start to roll the spine around, making big circles with the upper body, like you're scraping out a barrel. Or as one of my teacher friends, lovely friends, said, scraping out the inside of a peanut butter jar. And I really relate to that. So imagine you've got a spoon and you're just scraping out all that beautiful peanut butter or almond butter or whatever it is. And allow yourself to come to stillness in the center. And from here, we'll take the right leg long. Take the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right leg and start to reach your right hand down towards your foot. So you might rest your forearm or your elbow on your shin. You might rest it on the floor. Or if you have a block close by, you could always rest your arm on the block. And then we'll reach the left arm up and over, getting a nice little side body stretch. You can keep the arm long, or you can bend the elbow and just start to cradle the back of the head, so supporting the neck here. And with your inhale, we'll lift the chest up, roll the left shoulder back. And as you exhale, start to turn in, gaze down, and draw the elbow in. A couple more with the breath. Inhaling to open up. And exhaling to turn in. We'll take one more like that, feeling the length down the left side, all the way down through the rib cage. Exhale, rounding in. This time as you inhale, start to sweep your left arm all the way up and behind you so it plants down somewhere onto the floor in line with your hip. And then press into the hips, press into the floor as you reach your right arm up and back into just a modified wild thing. So the left shin is still rooting down. You can be really open here, bringing the shoulder back, or you can be sort of a little less open, feeling the length down the side body. Either way, you might circle out that top right wrist. You might wiggle the fingers. You might make the movement bigger, circling the arm around. It's all just options to see what feels good for you. You might be completely still, and that is perfectly all right. If you're moving, pause in stillness, take one more breath in. Then as you exhale, the hips lower all the way down. We'll take the right hand onto the left knee. Left hand behind you for just a gentle twist. Gazing over the left shoulder, keeping the spine nice and long. Relax through the shoulders so you can create a little bit of space for the neck. Take one more inhale. One more exhale to twist. And then begin to unravel from your twist, and we will switch sides. So we'll take the left leg long. Right foot to the inside of the left leg. Again, you might want your block a little bit closer to the left leg, maybe on the outside. Or you can just slide your hand towards your foot, reaching towards your shin. You don't have to touch the foot, that's totally fine. Right arm reaches up and over. You might stay here with the arm long, or you might bend the elbow, support the head. And then as you inhale, right shoulder rolls back a little. And as you exhale, turn in. Again, breathing in, opening up, letting something in. And breathing out, turning inwards, letting something go. One more time like that. With the breath, it's smooth and steady. The movement is also smooth and steady. Next time you inhale, rise all the way up. The right arm extends long. Plant somewhere in line with the hip, under the shoulder. The left arm reaches up, press into the hips. Lift the chest, lift the hips. Again, you can be really open here if you'd like to press your heart and your hips to the sky, or you can be sort of facing to the side, finding length down the left side of the body. Maybe you roll out that left wrist, wiggle the fingers. Maybe you circle the left arm around. And then when you're ready, come back into stillness, pausing for one more inhale. And as you exhale, the hips lower gently to the mat. And then from here, we'll make our way into a child's pose. So swinging the legs around, make your way towards the back of the mat. If you have coffee, now's a good time for a little sip. And then in your child's pose, tuck your toes under if that feels all right. So the toes tuck under, heels are lifted. Hips press back towards the heels. So you just get a little bit more stretching in the soles of the feet and the toes, the arches. If you feel like you're being really pushed forward, send a little bit more weight into the heels, pressing the hands in towards the floor. Elbows can be lifted or relaxed on the mat. And as you press more weight back to your heels, that stretch in the feet might get a little bit more intense. Make the breath a little bigger. On your next inhale, begin to rise up into a modified plank. So spine is long, shoulders above the wrists. And as you exhale, bring it back to your child's pose. Nice and slow, inhale, bring it up into your plank, just on the knees. Feel a little lift in the core. Exhale to your child's pose. One more time like that. Inhale, bring it up. Press into the fingers. And exhale, take it back. And this time as you inhale, bring it forward into your plank on your knees. Shoulders a little bit ahead of the wrists. And then bend the elbows, lower all the way down to the mat. Bring the tops of your feet down. And as you inhale, lift the chest. Nice little cobra. And exhale, take it down. Legs can be wide if you'd like, or feet can be closer together. We'll take 2 more. Smooth little cobras, warming up the spine. Just gently waking up the body. And we'll lower after that 3rd one. And then press into the hands, push all the way back so you're in a kneeling position at the back of the mat. Tops of the feet on the floor. Circle your arms behind you. Fingers interlace, palms squeeze as the chest lifts up. Elbows can be bent or straight. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze together and down. As the heart lifts high, maybe it feels all right to drop the head back, or maybe you feel a little bit of length in the back of the neck. Just being mindful of that area, of course. Take one more big inhale here. And as you exhale, keep your hands clasped, begin to fold until your head drops to the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, you might slide a block underneath of there. You might wiggle the knees a little bit wider if this is too intense. If this is uncomfortable for the shoulders, you can soften the elbows and rest your hands at the base of the spine. But either way, you're drawing your elbows and your shoulders together, sliding them away from the ears. Maybe the hands are off the back and the arms are reaching a little bit further away from the body. Maybe you'd like to sway here a little bit. Rolling up the forehead on the mat. And then wherever you are, begin to release the hands. Take them out nice and long, fingers spread wide. Press into the fingertips. As you inhale, rise up into your plank, just on the knees. And as you exhale, take it all the way down to the mat. Inhale to cobra, maybe a little bit bigger this time. And as you exhale, press yourself back through a child's pose and either make your way into tabletop or downward facing dog. So depending on how you're feeling this morning, you might not be into the downward dog, and you might just keep your knees down onto the mat underneath of your hips. Either way, just allow yourself to move a bit, shaking the hips, the head. If you're in downward dog, you can pedal out the feet. Feel the backs of the legs lengthen. And then wherever you are, either in your tabletop or your downward dog, we're taking the right leg long. And then you're going to bend your knee, open up your hip. And we'll start to make big circles with that right knee. So just taking a few in one direction. Nice smooth circles. If you're in your tabletop, they might look something like this. Same movement, just with the left knee down onto the mat. Pressing into the fingers, spreading the shoulder blades a little. Feeling a little bit more strength in the upper back. Switch directions if you have not already done that yet. And then once you've roughly evened it out, we'll step the right foot up in between the hands and lower your left knee down if it's not already on the mat. So we're in a low lunge, feet hip width apart. The top of the left foot can be down, or you can keep the toes tucked under. Remember, you can fold over the mat if you need more support for the left knee. And then when you're ready, we'll take the arms up and lift the chest. And gently reach the hips forward and down. Find a little bit of balance there between the flexibility of reaching the hips forward and the strength of lifting the inner thighs, lifting the core. And then when you're ready, we'll interlace the fingers, bring them behind the head, elbows open wide. Take a breath in, elbows open wide, chest lifts maybe a bit higher. And as you exhale, round and draw the elbows in. Again, inhale to open wide, maybe those hips press forward a little as the chest lifts. And as you draw the elbows in, maybe the hips pull back a touch. One more time like that, inhaling to open. And exhaling to pull in. This time we'll bring the hands down, pull the hips back all the way and lengthen the right leg into half splits. If you need a prop to bring the floor a little closer to you, you can, or you can come up onto the fingertips. Reach the hips back, reach the heart forward, maybe fold down here, dropping the head. Maybe take little pulses with the breath. This is your Monday morning. What do you need right now? And how can you honor that in your breath and in your body, in your mind? And gently bend back into the right knee, walk the hands forward, slide the right leg back. You can take your plank on your knees or your toes, and you can either press right back into downward dog or move through a little flow. If you're moving through your flow, maybe this time you straighten the arms, lift the thighs, upward dog, and then finding those hips back and up into your downward dog. Taking a big breath in and a big breath out. Gaze up towards your hands, lift your heels, and then take nice little steps. Take your time. As you take little steps towards the top of the mat, I always need to walk my hands more forward, so if you do need to do that as well, go ahead. We're meeting in a forward fold with the feet just a little bit wider than the hips. Allow the knees to bend. Let's plant the right hand down either to the floor or a block. And with a big breath in, reach the left arm up, big bend in the right knee, roll the left shoulder back. As you exhale, the left hand comes down to the floor or the block. Inhale to switch, right arm reaches high. One more time, each side, just moving gently, slowly with the breath. Feeling the twist. Maybe you remember this is one of my favorites. I do it almost every day. Feels so good. Bring it on down to your fold once you've evened it out. And then begin to roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time. Once you reach the top, roll the shoulders back and down. And then step the feet either hip width or together. And take a big breath in, reach the arms high. As you exhale, fold over the legs. We'll take a couple just half sun salutations. Inhale to lengthen the spine, feel the thighs squeeze, the core lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise all the way back up, arms sweep high, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do another one like that. Inhale to reach. And exhale to fold. Just can you allow your breath to move you? I was about to say, just let your breath move you. And I was like, well, maybe that's a little more easier said than done. So we'll ask that, we'll phrase that as a question. Can you let your breath move you? This time, reach up. Take a fold. Halfway lift. Fold. And then as you inhale, bend the knees, just come into chair for a breath, arms reach up. And as you exhale, straighten the legs, hands to heart. We'll do one more like that with the added chair. Inhale, reach. Can you let your breath move you? Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Don't worry so much about the alignment, about the form. Just let your breath move you. Next, inhale, knees soften, arms reach up. Exhale to stand, hands to heart. All right, this time reach up and fold. Lengthen and lift halfway. And fold. Plant the hands. You can either step back into your downward dog or you can move through a flow, plank from knees or toes. Bending the elbows, maybe lowering halfway or all the way. Lifting your chest to your back bend. Sending the hips back and up. So we're going to do that on the other side. Remember that you can always take the knees down and do this from your tabletop. Either way, we'll take the left leg long and then bend the knee, open the hip. And then start to circle the knee around. Just a few times in one direction from your dog or your table. Pushing the floor away, keeping the hips lifted high if they're in your dog. Switching directions if you have not already done that yet. Feeling the side different for sure. Not better, not worse, just different. And then we'll slide the left foot up between the hands and lower the right knee down. Feet hip width, right toes either tucked or untucked. You can always protect the knee by folding the mat over. When you're ready, reach it up. Lift the chest, adjust as you need to. Feel some weight in that left heel, make it a little bit more heavy so you feel a bit more balanced, stable. And then when you're ready, we'll interlace the fingers, maybe the opposite way this time if you remember the way that it felt that you did before. Hands behind the head. Inhale to open and exhale to round in. Inhale again as you open the elbows wide, lift the chest, hips reach forward. And exhale as you pull the hips back gently, draw the elbows in. One more time, finding that bit of balance between the flexibility, the openness, and the strength. This time we'll fold down, bring the hands down, half splits. Remember, you can bring the floor a little closer to you if you need to. Left toes lift high as the hips pull back. You're gonna fold down if that feels good. You can let the head hang heavy and breathe in stillness or find just gentle pulses. And asking yourself what you need and how can you give yourself that with your breath, with your movement, or with your stillness. Trying to align those things. Slowly walk the hands forward, bend back into the left knee. Either step back into downward dog or move through a little flow. The choice is always yours. We meet in downward facing dog. And then once you're there, lift the heels, gaze to the hands, take as many little steps as you'd like, taking your time. Walking any which way you'd like up to the top of the mat. Feet a little bit wider than hip width. Allow the knees to bend as much as you need them to. And then we'll plant the right hand down again to the floor or the block. Bend the right knee. This time as you inhale, reach the left arm up and hold, rolling the shoulder back. You can stay here, reaching the hips back and the heart forward, or you can bend the elbow, place your palm to the base of the spine, or wrap it around, reaching for your right hip. I just got a mouthful of hair right there. How lovely. Rolling shoulder back. Keeping the spine long, even if you're in your half bind. On your next inhale, reach the left arm up. And as you exhale, plant it down and switch. Inhale, the right arm reaches up. So again, you can stay here. You can take the hand to the base of the spine. You can wrap it around for your left hip. Rolling top shoulder back, hips pull back, heart reaches forward. Notice if you're pulling the head back, try to lengthen through the back of the neck. Use your next inhale to reach your right arm up. And your exhale to bring it down to your fold. And then we will roll up again, one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way up to the top. Take a big shoulder roll once you get there. Step the feet again, maybe hip width or together, you can choose. This time as you inhale, reach up, lift high onto the toes. And as you exhale, fold down, softly land the heels. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise back up. If you'd like, you can rise onto the tippy toes, heels lift. Exhale, hands to heart, heels lower. We'll do one more like that. Inhale, reach, option to lift the heels. Exhale, fold, take your time. If it helps, you can take the arms wide for balance. Inhale, halfway lift with the heels planted. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise back up. Maybe the heels lift, but stay with the breath. Exhale, heels lower, hands to heart. This time we add the chair, so inhale, reach, maybe the heels lift up. Exhale to fold, dive down, take your time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This will be fun. As you inhale, maybe lift the heels, bend the knees, come into your chair. And as you exhale, hands to heart, heels drop, straighten the legs. One more time. Reach it up. Maybe those heels lift. Exhale, fold, find your balance. Inhale to lengthen. So smooth. Exhale, fold. Inhale back to that little chair. Maybe you lift the heels as you reach up. Whew. And then exhale, hands to heart, straighten the legs, heels drop. This time we reach up and then fold down. From your fold, lift the heels, bend the knees, lower your hips down into a little crouch. We'll take the knees nice and wide into our garland. Make it nice and passive. So the knees are wide, hips sink towards the heels. Walk the hands out nice and long. Wiggle the hips around if you'd like, shake the head. If you wish, you can take the arms around the shins and interlace the fingers around the heels, sort of like a nice little pretzel with the arms opening up the knees. Take a few breaths. And if their hands are around the heels, bring them out forward. Draw the knees back together. Make your way to a seat. Take another little sip of coffee if you'd like here. Sip of water, tea, whatever you need. And then with the feet planted on the mat, we'll reach the arms long, lift the chest up. Imagine I'm holding onto your hands right here. I've got you, you're supported. And I'll slowly start to pull you back. As you lean back with the spine long, the feet, try to keep them as heavy as you can. As you lower with control, don't worry, I won't drop you. Still holding on to your hands, but just slowly lowering you all the way down to the mat. Once you're there, take your arms wide. You'll walk the feet in a little if you'd like. Drop the knees side to side. So nice windshield wipers moving around in the hips. And bring the knees back up to center, feet lift off the mat, give yourself a nice big hug, lift head and shoulders, squeeze so tight. And then keeping your knees in, lower the upper body, drop your legs over to the right for a twist. You can keep the knees aiming up towards the head for a little more intense twist, usually getting into the more mid and upper back. If the knees are angled down a little bit, be a little more gentle. Your head might flop over to the left side. As you breathe up and down your spine, enjoying almost final posture together. Slowly bring your head back if it was turned. Draw the legs up to center. Give yourself another big hug. Lift head and shoulders. Wrap your arms around your shins. Squeeze in so tight. Lower the upper body. Take the arms wide. Drop your legs over to the left. Adjust the legs as you'd like. Relax the shoulders. Keep them heavy on the mat. Maybe turn your head over to the right. Breathe up and down the spine. Allow your belly to fill and empty. Feel it stretch and expand, full of life, full of energy, possibility. And as you exhale, can you imagine you're just letting go of whatever is holding you back, whatever you don't need. And slowly bring the head and the legs back to center. One last hug or any final posture that you would like right now. Taking as much time as you need before settling into the final posture. And you're releasing the legs. You can take them out long and wide. Arms may be wide like a starfish. Take up some space. Be big here. Legs can be in any position. Arms can be in any position. Anywhere that you feel relaxed. Anywhere that you can just close your eyes and take these last few moments just for you right here. And being March 1st, it's the perfect day, the perfect time to maybe remind yourself of what's important to you. To maybe set a little intention of how you want to move through this month. And if that feels a little intimidating or overwhelming, then just think about it, how you want to move through the day, the morning, the afternoon. One breath at a time, one day at a time. And with your inhales, reminding yourself of what is important, of what your intention might be, of what you want to cultivate more of. And let your exhale just solidify that within you. Feel grounded in that, in what you want to create. Taking a deep inhale together. And let it all out. You are welcome to stay right where you are. When you are ready to move, do so slowly and gently. And I thank you all so much for joining me for your Monday morning, a slow morning rise. And I hope that you can keep this kindness and this softness with you as you move throughout the rest of your day. And I hope that we can move together again very soon. Thank you.